Hey trader, so in this video, I want to go over a very exclusive and a very special strategy that is very near and dear to my heart that I use to make massive profits, especially when it comes to Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. So this is what I like to call the I like to call it the silver cross strategy. Now I'm sure you've heard of the golden cross and you know, bullish cross or bearish cross. I like to call this the silver cross just because it sounds different. And you might have heard of the bullish cross being a cross between the 50 and 200 SMAs. I think that is mostly nonsense. And or it could be the crossover between the 50 and 200 EMAs, which I think is a much better strategy. But in this case, I'm talking about the 13 and 55 EMA moving average cross. So what I have painted here on my chart are two lines. So you can easily put this on your charts for yourselves. There's an indicator called 6 EMA to SMA. All you do is go to inputs and put in the two EMAs that I'm using for the strategy. Now, in this case, the 13 and the 55. Make sure you have them enabled. And for myself, I use pink and green colors, but you can use whatever colors you wish. And essentially, what this strategy shows you is when the 13 exponential moving average or the faster moving average crosses over the slower moving average, this basically initiates a big, massive bull run in Bitcoin. So let's take a look at the first example in which this happened. So this was back on May 2012, over a decade ago. And once the 13 EMA went over the 55 EMA, we saw a move in Bitcoin of over 20,000%, in which Bitcoin went from like $5 to over $1,000, which is, I think that's incredible. Next, we saw the reverse happen, in which the 13 EMA went below the 55 EMA, right? So the faster moving average went below the longer period moving average, which basically initiated a bearish phase in the market. So from top to bottom, we basically saw a move in Bitcoin of minus 65%, right? Now let's keep going. So the next time this moving average cross happened was in November of 2015. So let's draw this out in real time. And it's funny how this occurs exactly as the previous moving average crossover finishes its move. So it's like I was saying, in May 2015, we saw this cross happen again. This led to this massive bull run in Bitcoin, which went from, let's see this price scale again. So it went from about $300 to $20,000, the 2017 cycle peak. Now, once again, we see this cross happen in reverse. So the 13 EMA goes below the 55 EMA, and this leads to a move of negative 57%. And guys, guess what happens once again when the 13 EMA goes above the 55 EMA? This initiates a move up in Bitcoin of 80%. Now, keep in mind, this is a weekly time scale, so this doesn't happen immediately. It does take some time for this process to happen. And one thing to note, or one nuance note, is that the closer the moving average, or the closer the price is to the moving average cross, the better entry you're going to get. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be back testing this kind of strategy. Now, one thing I want to point out, or a nuance I want to point out, is this isn't always perfect. No, this isn't 100% hit rate. Like, for example, we kind of see the 13 EMA go below the 55 EMA, kind of have a fake out. And instead of 13 EMA actually goes above the 55 EMA for a little bit. And this does lead to a move of, let's see, I'm trying to enjoy this out because this move seems so insignificant to me compared to all the others. But this did lead to a move of up to 30% in Bitcoin in the period of about a week. And then we saw, a little bit of a fake out here. in which this strategy did not work. So the 13 EMA went below the 55, but look what happened to price. It just kept going up. But instead, we could have reversed long and waited for the 13 EMA to go above the 55 EMA. And when this happened, Bitcoin went from essentially $9,000 to the cycle top of $69,000, right? Now, once again, the strategy just works so great. Like I would say, probably has an 80% hit rate. The 13 EMA goes below the 55 EMA in April 2022. This leads to move down 63%. And I bet you guys won't guess what happens next, but eventually these moving averages just keep interacting with each other. And then next time the 13 EMA went above the 55 EMA, this lets you move up in Bitcoin. Keep in mind the nuances here, right? Like we did have some fake outs here if you actually study this, in which the 13 EMA went above 55, but it kind of lets you move down initially. So it's not always perfect, but when it's right, it's really right. So we get this move again in October of 2023, and this leads to a move of around, so from 26,000 to 126,000, 350% move, not bad. Now, most recently, what we're getting now in this most recent cycle, the 13 EMA went below the 55 in December of 2025. It's currently March of 2025 as I am recording this video, and Bitcoin is down about 33% if you were utilizing this strategy. And you might have some more downside to go. Who knows? Because the 13 EMA is currently way below the 55 EMA. So we would need at this current point in time for the 13 EMA to cross above the 55 EMA at $90,000 to initiate the next bullish phase of the market. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next strategy video.